Let's get started now. Let's go.
Give me a high five. Ready? Bam.
Thank you for joining me on livestreamingfitness.com. I'm Teresa Moyer, and I am your yoga instructor. And today we're going to be going through a nice restorative class. So if you have props that you like to use for restorative, like a block, you can use a book. You could also go into the kitchen and grab a canned good. But if you grab a canned good, make sure that when you set the can for your prop, that you set a towel over the top of it so that it doesn't cut into your body. So if you have any of those items you want to gather up and bring those to your mat, feel free to do so. And whenever you're ready, you'll come back to the mat, sit crisscross, really open up that heart, and just bring those shoulders just up to the ears, and then roll them back down your back and away from your ears. Maybe close those eyes and just begin to settle into the mat. And if you have a lot of tension in the head, neck, or shoulders, you might want to do a second shrug of the shoulders and send that right down the back. So whenever you're ready, let's get started. Closing those eyes, sinking into the mat, focusing on that breath. Entering and exiting the body. And whenever you take that breath in through the nose and then exhale right out the nose. Closing off the mouth and allowing that nice flow of the breath. You can concentrate on the length of the breath, but try not to force the breath. Let it be natural. And as you begin to settle into your mat, let's begin to think about an intention that you would like to set for your practice. And an intention is not the same thing as a goal. A goal is something that we want to achieve over time. An intention is for the moment. It's for the now. So the intention will be set for our class. A lot of times I like to use gratitude or just to be present. Thinking about an intention that you would like to set for your class, for your practice. And today I'm going to use the intention just to completely relax, a perfect one for today's class as we are going through restorative. So really sinking deeper and deeper into the mat with each exhale, focusing on the breath and focusing on the intention that you just set. Any other thoughts, responsibilities, anything else popping around in your head, just take those and set those to the side of your mat, allowing yourself to completely be enveloped in your practice. Stay here for 2 more breath cycles. And as you exhale, really press all the air out of your body by squeezing the abs to the spine before you take that next breath. slowly begin to open up those eyes. Let's inhale those hands up overhead. Exhale the hands to heart center. And let's just take the right hand onto the mat to the right side and reach the left hand up to the sky. And then slowly with each exhale, reaching over that left ear, getting a nice stretch down the left side of the body. And if you would like to have a little bit deeper stretch, taking that elbow down to the mat, you can even use that block or that kin good. Breathing nice and deep and taking that gaze up to the sky over the left elbow. On your next inhale, coming right back to center. Inhale those hands high. Exhale those hands to heart center. And then let's rotate, taking the left hand down to the mat. Right hand up. With each exhale, just sinking a little bit deeper into the mat. If you'd like to go right down to that elbow, continue to reach with that right hand. And when you're ready, coming right back up to center, inhale those hands up overhead, exhaling the hands to heart center. And if you have a prop that you like to use, let's go ahead and grab that now. And we're actually going to go right onto our backs. And with a block, if you have one, there's different levels. You have this highest level, the medium, and then the low. So you can start out on the highest level and just press that block underneath that lower back. Your feet are flat on the floor, about hip distance apart. Your shoulders are completely flush to the floor with your palms up to the sky. And you might experience a little bit of tightness in that lower back as you come into the pose. But with each exhale, just start to really relax that back, allowing the spine to lengthen and allowing that lower back to completely relax. We're still focused on that breath entering and exiting the body. If you're in this posture and it feels like it's too much on this high level, you can take your block and you can take it down a notch or two. And if you don't have a block or don't want to use a block or a book, you can just take it out completely, allowing yourself to completely relax onto the mat. And if you're in this posture and you're always looking for additional ways to get hip openers, you can take that right leg, cross it over the left knee, and allow that right leg just to fall open, opening up that right hip. Stay in this posture for 2 more breath cycles. Really allowing, if you have that leg up on that left knee, allowing the hip to really open up, sinking that knee toward the earth, allowing that right hip to completely open. On your next inhale, if you have the leg crossed, bringing that foot right back onto the earth. Breathing nice and deep from the belly. And you can stay in this posture, or you can take that left leg, crossing it over the right. Opening up that left hip. And once again, if you feel any tightness or tension, or it's just really uncomfortable to be in the posture, you can remove the prop altogether. Just coming completely flush to the mat. Focusing on the breath and your intention. We'll stay in this posture for 2 more breath cycles. You have that leg crossed over. Let's take that left foot right down to the earth, keeping those shoulders nice and flush. And then slowly grabbing, if you have a prop underneath your body, grabbing it and bringing it to the side of your mat. Sending the left leg to the end of the mat, and just bring that right knee up to the chest. And if you like to reset and just take the nose to the knee, and then kick the right leg to the end of the mat. And let's switch. Take the left knee up to the chest. Once again, knee to nose if you like to do that. And then send the left knee to the end of the mat. And just kick both legs out in Savasana, allowing the feet just to fall open, ankles to fall open. Taking the right hand, and as you're completely flush to the mat, take the right hand and just reach underneath your lower back. And you'll notice that there's a natural arch. Excuse me, that should be there unless you have your knees bent. The knees are bent, your back is completely flush. So if you have lower back issues, just keep the knees bent, allow them just to knock in toward one another. And if you just prefer to have the full Savasana, feet out to the end of the mat, reaching to the far corners and allowing the feet and ankles just to fall open. Just for the next few moments, let's really focus on the breath as it enters and exits our body. And on the exhale, really make sure that we're emptying out the belly by pressing all the air out, squeezing the abs to the spine, allowing the body to bring in a fresh new breath. On your next inhale, slowly inhale those knees up to the chest. Maybe you want to bring one in followed by the other, or bring both at the same time. And gently rock a little left to right. and then gently rock forward to back. And you can grab the back of the legs and just gently rock forward to back. And on the third or fourth rock, coming up to a seated posture, kick those feet to the end of the mat. And let's take the hands directly below the shoulders, fingertips facing toward the feet. And we're going to lift up our hips for a reverse plank, pressing firmly through the hands, lifting the hips as high as possible, and keeping everything nice and straight. So here we go. Slowly start to lift, and as you lift, you may have to kind of step out a little bit further. And take that gaze up to the sky and then back over the shoulders. Pressing those hips up nice and high. And then on the exhale, slowly lower those hips down and just do a gentle forward fold, really focusing on the wrists, allowing them to get a nice stretch. And on your next inhale, coming right back to that reverse posture, kicking those hips up high, taking the gaze up over the shoulders toward the back of the room. And on your next inhale, slowly set those hips down and take a nice gentle forward fold. And on your next inhale, coming all the way over, rotating your body, taking those knees directly below the hips, sending your hips all the way back over the heels, and just reaching those hands forward. And it's not important whether or not your hips hit your heels or whether you're sitting up in the Coach K pose where he keeps his hips completely high and he reaches the hands down and forehead right to the mat. You can also take that block and set it right back on any level behind you when you're doing this pose. So child's pose looks different for every single person. I don't think any two people look exactly the same in this posture. So kind of do what feels best for your body. Close those eyes and find out, does it feel better to send the hips to the heels? Do you feel more relaxed if you have the hips high? Maybe you like to reach those hands all the way to the top of the mat. Or you could even try bringing the hands to the side of the body, allowing the shoulders to completely relax toward the earth. When you go into a child's pose, it's good to take that forehead and just rock it a little left to right, really relaxing the head, neck, and shoulders. When you go through restorative class, oftentimes you'll see that you'll be holding postures for 3 to 5 or even more minutes for a pose, really allowing yourself to gain some flexibility and an opening and lengthen the muscles. We'll stay in this posture for 2 more breath cycles. And you can stay in this posture for the next 5 minutes if you'd like to, or coming right back up onto your mat, hands directly below the shoulders. Really spread those fingers nice and wide, almost like you have little tiny pieces of pie between each set of fingers. So spread them as wide as you can so that your foundation is nice and strong and stable. Taking those toes and tucking them under. And just, you can send your hips back and then come up into the downward facing dog. So sending the hips back and then slowly coming up into the downward facing dog. Walking the heels down toward the earth slowly. Really listening to the body. And if you feel any pain or tension, just kind of come out of it a little bit. Don't have any expectation. Reaching those heels toward the earth. Pressing through the fingertips and reaching with the heels toward the back of the mat. And send that heart right toward the thighs. And shake that head yes. And shake that head no. On your next inhale, coming with the knees right back down to the mat. Gaze right back to the front of the room. And you can keep the toes tucked or untucked. Let's reach forward with the right hand. Reach back with the left foot. A nice little balance pose. And if you feel comfortable reaching back for that foot and just getting a nice stretch. Pulling with the hand. Kind of pressing with the foot, but also lifting up toward the sky with that foot. Exhale. And let's switch. Right leg to the back, left hand to the front. Fingers are spread really wide on the mat. And then reaching back for that foot. Getting another nice stretch. You're going to feel the stretch all the way through the thighs. And on your next inhale, bringing that hand back down. We're back into a tabletop posture. Let's take that right hand up to the sky. And then take it right under. And as we press under for threading the needle, reach as far as you can and then set the shoulder down. Really twisting at the spine. Left hand can stay right where it is. The main thing you want is you want to make sure that you're comfortable. As comfortable as you can be. Breathing deep from that belly and really twisting that spine. You can take that left hand up to the sky. And you can even take that hand and wrap it around behind your back. You can have those eyes open or close. Just really concentrate on the breath entering and exiting the body. And anytime you find it challenging, focus on that intention that you set. And with each exhale, sink a little bit deeper, twisting that spine just a little bit more. And if you have that hand wrapped around behind your back, reaching that hand right back up to the sky, setting it down to the earth. And slowly reaching that right hand back up to the sky to check to see how much we've opened up that shoulder. And then set the right hand down and let's reach up to the sky with the left. Up to the sky. And then take that left hand, thread that needle, reach all the way through, and then lastly set that shoulder down to the earth. Once again, find what's most comfortable for that right hand. So if it's resting on the mat, that's perfectly fine. If it's reaching up to the sky, or if you'd like to reach that hand and just wrap it around behind that hip. Each exhale, just allow yourself to sink a little bit deeper. Let go of any tension you're holding on to. And send the exhale to any tightness that you're holding on to in your body. breath cycles. If you have that hand wrapped around behind your back, slowly unwind, placing that hand right back onto the mat, and then reaching up to the sky with that left hand, and then setting that left hand right to the mat. And let's send those hips all the way back. You don't have to put the forehead down, just sending those hips back to the back of the mat, gazing to the front of your mat with your eyes, and breathing deep from the belly. And if you have your hips back over the heels and you feel comfortable reaching that forehead right down to the mat, then walking the fingers forward, really stretching those arms. On your next inhale, let's walk those hands over to the right side. Maybe if you can, walking the hands all the way off of the mat, taking the left hand over the right wrist. Making sure that you find that breath. Focus on that intention. And feel that left side of your body getting a really deep stretch. Next inhale, bring the head up, walk those hands back to the center, reaching the fingertips a little bit more to the top of the mat, lengthening those arms, and then walking those hands to the left side, taking the right hand over the left wrist, reaching those hands a little bit further, breathing deep from that belly. And feeling the stretch down the entire right side of your body. On your next inhale, slowly walking those hands right back to the center of that mat. Once again, reaching those fingers a little bit further. Breathing deep from the belly. Really allow that heart to sink toward the earth. And just relax any part of your body that's holding on to any tension. And when you're ready, coming all the way up, if it doesn't bother your knees, you can sit on your knees. But if it does bother your knees, you can sit crisscross with your legs to the left or right side of your body. And once you've come up to the seated position, let's kick those legs to the front. Grab the back of the thighs. And just slowly allow yourself to roll down to the mat. And for those of you that like to use a towel, you might want to have that towel handy. Open up those palms up to the sky and allow those shoulders to sink toward the earth. And then let's reach the left and right legs to the end of the mat. these next few stretches can be pretty intense, so feel free to use a towel, and also feel free to keep the knee bent. It does not have to be straight. You want to protect your knee joints. So on your next inhale, let's bring that right knee up to the chest. Give it a nice tight squeeze. And let's slowly allow the leg to open up to the right side of the room. Maybe take the right hand onto the knee, pressing the knee away from your body. Let's bring that right knee back up to the chest. You can use a towel and just wrap it with both hands on either side, placing it under the foot and just pressing the foot toward the sky, holding onto the towel, or if you have a strap or a belt. And if you're using a prop, with each exhale, start to straighten the leg just a little bit more. But if you prefer not to use a towel, just take a hold of the big toe on that foot. And then slowly start to straighten that leg. Keeping a micro bend in it, doesn't have to be completely straight. This is reclined big toe pose. And then slowly start to allow that leg to open up to the right side of the room. Continue to breathe deep from that belly. You can gaze over to that right foot. Then bring that head right back to center and reach the left arm to the left side of your body. And feel free to grab the towel if you want to get a little bit deeper stretch and you're having a hard time holding onto that toe, feel free to grab a hold of that towel. You want to do and use a prop if it allows your body to completely relax, and as that right leg goes to the right side of the room, you're going to feel that inner thigh really stretch deep. So if it's holding onto a towel, it's holding onto the toe, keeping the knee a little bit bent. We're striving for some length in the muscles on the inner thighs. Let's stay here for 2 more breath cycles. And when we come out, bending that knee nice and deep and bringing the knee back to the chest. Giving that knee a nice tight squeeze. And then sending the right leg to the end of the mat. And let's alternate, bringing the left knee up to the chest. And then slowly allow that left knee to open up to the left side of the room. Maybe taking the hand and pressing it on the outside, actually inside of that left knee, pressing it toward the earth, and just taking the gaze over the right fingertips. You can also do the same stretch lying on your belly by bringing up one knee at a time to the side of your body, allowing you to have a little bit more resistance as your body is on top, pressing down toward the earth. On your next inhale, bringing that left knee right back to the center, giving that knee a nice tight squeeze. And then when you're ready, reaching down for that toe or use a towel. And then slowly start to kick that left leg up. Continue to breathe deep from the belly. And you can keep a bend in that knee. It does not have to be straight. Once you have a hold of that towel or that toe, slowly allow the leg to open up to the left side of the room. Taking the gaze over to the right fingertips. And you could also use a block here too. You could place a block underneath that leg. If you have so much resistance and you feel a little bit of pain and you don't want to take it that deep, you can take a block and just elevate that leg just a little bit. Continue to breathe from the belly. We'll stay here for 4 more breath cycles. And then when you're ready, slowly start to bend that knee and bring that knee back up to the chest, squeezing, and then sending the left leg down to the end of the mat. Maybe kicking both legs all the way down, reaching to the very far corners of the mat and allowing the feet just to fall completely open. Reaching the palms up to the sky with the hands to the side of your body. And after we did all those nice openings for the hips, maybe you want to come into the bound angle, bringing those feet together, palms facing up to the sky, closing the eyes, and scanning the body for any tightness, any tension that you're still holding on to. Taking a moment to scan the body and command your body to completely relax. When you're in final relaxation, if keeping your bound angle is kind of messing with your relaxation and you keep thinking about, oh, I can feel pain or there's so much tension, you definitely don't want to stay in the pose. You want to be in the pose that allows you to be completely relaxed. So you can start out in a savasana with a bound angle, allowing those knees to fall toward the earth, just gaining a little bit of opening. But when you start to feel pain or it's becoming a distraction, kick those legs to the end of the mat, feet fall open like a book, palms up to the sky, and allow yourself to completely relax in savasana so that you're able to focus on that breath and that intention throughout the final relaxation. And a modification for savasana is to take those knees, bend those knees, allow them to knock in toward one another. That just allows that lower back to release a little bit, relax, and allows your body to be in savasana in the most relaxed state. When we go into savasana, we completely relax our bodies, and we also begin to focus on the point between our eyebrow, thinking of the intention that we set, listening to the breath enter and exit the body. We allow that breath to be the same breath we would take if we were taking a nap. It's very easy, not controlled. It's just easy in and easy out. It's a good idea to stay in savasana for 5 to 15 minutes, longer if your schedule allows. Come out of savasana, you'll just be bringing those knees up to the chest and just do a gentle rock left to right, ending on that left side, and then gently push yourself up in any comfortable seated posture. I'm going to go into the bound angle since we have worked a lot on hips, sitting those knees down to the earth. I'm going to inhale those hands up overhead, exhale the hands to heart center, and I'm going to have some gratitude for making time in my day for my practice, and also gratitude for you for joining me. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.